Sharks have an 80% hunting success rate. Lions, 25%. Wolves, 14%. The shark is not the biggest animal in the ocean. It is not the fastest. It is not the strongest. It is the most precise. And they do not hunt alone. They read the environment. They position the team. They strike together with a success rate no other predator on Earth can match. At Apex Founder, that is the only standard we build businesses to. Michael Gerber spent years studying why small business owners fail. He identified what he called the technician's trap. The person who is great at the work decides to open a business doing that work. And the moment they do, they fall into a trap. Because being good at the work is completely different from building a business that does the work. Most people hear that and nod. And then they keep running their business the same way they always have. But there is a version of this trap that nobody talks about. It is not the trap of doing too much. It is the trap of having gold inside your operation and never converting it into a system. You already know who your best people are. You already know who to call when the situation is critical. You already know which process never fails. The problem is not awareness. The problem is that knowledge lives in your head and disappears every time you use it. Today we are going to change that. I spent years working in the BPO industry, business process outsourcing, companies that manage entire operations for other businesses, call centers, data processing, customer support, large-scale operations serving hundreds of thousands of clients. One of our clients was an insurance company, and they had a problem that more businesses share than most admit. They were losing customers, clients were canceling their plans, and nobody had a clear answer for why. The instinct was to hire more agents, run more retention campaigns, spend more to keep people from leaving. But more spend did not fix the underlying problem. So we asked a different question. Instead of asking why clients were leaving, we asked why the ones who stayed. Instead of studying what was going wrong, we started mapping what was already going right. That single shift in the question changed everything. What we found was a 4-part pattern. I call it the precision retention system. You do not need an insurance company or a BPO to apply it. You need customers and the willingness to look at your own data honestly. Part 1. Affinity mapping. Some agents were significantly more effective with certain client profiles. One agent consistently retained clients who called in frustrated. Another had a measurably higher retention rate with a specific demographic. The pattern was not random, and it was not personality. When we matched the right agent to the right client profile, retention improved without additional training or additional spend. In your business, do you know which of your people performs best with which type of customer? If the answer lives only in your head, it is not a system, it is instinct. Instinct does not scale. Part 2. Signal detection. The voice system identified when a client was upset before the conversation had gone more than a few exchanges. Tone, pace, specific phrases. The agents who acted on those signals early had measurably higher success rates. The agents who waited until the client said the words "I want to cancel" were already too late in most cases. In your business, what are the signals that a client is about to leave? A drop in engagement, slower replies, a specific complaint pattern. If you can name those signals, you can act before the problem becomes a loss. Part 3. Proactive outreach. The highest performing agents did not wait for a problem to surface. They reached out to clients before a renewal, before a complaint, before anything went wrong. A simple check-in call at the right moment had a higher retention impact than any reactive recovery conversation. In your business, are you reaching out to clients before they have a reason to leave, or are you only calling when there is already a problem? Part 4. The objection library. When a client raised an objection to canceling, the best agents had specific, tested responses, not scripts, frameworks. We documented the most effective arguments from the best retention agents and trained the entire team on them. The result was that the whole team started performing at the level of the top 10%. In your business, what do your best people say when a client pushes back? Is that documented anywhere, or does it disappear when that person is not available? When we applied all 4 parts of this system to that insurance client, the results were not marginal. Churn dropped significantly. Revenue stabilized. Profitability improved, both for the client and for the BPO operation itself. Not because we hired better people, not because we changed the product, because we took what the best agents were already doing and made it replicable across the entire team. That is the Shark principle in a real operation. Precision, not volume. The business did not need more effort. It needed its own best practices turned into a system. And what those BPO operations paid consultants to uncover at scale, you can apply in your own business this week. The principle is identical. The scale is different. This week, not someday. This week. Step 1. Pick one customer-facing process in your business. Sales, retention, onboarding, support. Pick one. Step 2. Identify who handles that process best. Then sit down with that person and map exactly what they do. What do they say first? What do they do when a client pushes back? What signals do they read that others miss? Write it down. Every step. Step 3. Take that map and use it to train one other person. Not theory, not a general overview. The exact process your best person follows. Every week you operate without doing this is a week your best asset exists only in one person's head, not in your business. That is not precision. That is a single point of failure. The free 30-day business audit in the description below gives you the complete framework to find, document, and replicate what already works in your business. No cost. Next week I am breaking down the first hire that most founders get completely wrong and what to do instead. That video is linked right here. If this framework helped you today, I will see you next Monday. Build precise.